Level 1. The funding. Everyone in this room thinks you're a genius. In 4 years, some of them will testify against you. Right now, you're just rounding up one number. You sit across a heavy glass table. A partner from a top venture fund looks at your pitch deck. This is your 13th venture capital meeting. The first 12 decided not to fund you. You told them the truth, how much users you have, and that you're not making any money yet. So today, you change the script. When talking about your startup's traction, you tell them you have 3 active enterprise customers. You don't mention that those customers were just your college roommates. They signed up for free accounts using their corporate emails. So you don't say your buddies' names. You just say the names of the Fortune 500 companies they work for. Then you bring up your pipeline. A logistics firm replied to your cold email saying, "Keep us posted." But you don't tell the room that. You just slap the company's logo under the ongoing deals category. You stop talking. You hold your breath. You wait for the partner to ask for the contracts. You wait for him to demand the raw data, the proof. He doesn't. He leans in and asks how much room is left in the funding round. You do not hesitate. You name your number. The partner nods. You walk out holding a term sheet for $3 million. You figure out the game. The room rewards the story over the truth, and you realize you have a gift for it. Level 2, the team. It's 9 p.m. on a Friday, and you look around the office. There are empty pizza boxes stacked on the desks. Your team is still here. They're working 80-hour weeks for half what they could make at a normal tech company. They do it because of you. You stand up at the all-hands meeting every Monday and call this place a family. You give them stock options. You tell them they own a piece of the future. But you don't mention the vesting cliff. You had the lawyers write the contracts so that if an employee is fired before 365 days, they get nothing. Your lead engineer sleeps under his desk to ship the new update on time. He pushes the code live. A few days later, he complains about the insane hours in a public Slack channel. His 1-year anniversary is next Tuesday. You call him into a meeting room on Thursday. You tell him he just isn't a culture fit anymore. You tell him security will mail him his personal items. He walks out of the building with nothing. His shares go right back into the company pool. You realize you don't actually have to pay people what they're worth. You just have to promise them a payout and fire them before they get it. Level 3, the product. There is a magazine on your desk with your face on it. The article talks about how your AI startup saves businesses thousands of hours. You promised an algorithm that does their accounting instantly, but you don't actually have an algorithm. The code never worked. Instead, you hired 200 contractors in a warehouse overseas. Whenever a user uploads their private financial data, those contractors just type the numbers into a spreadsheet by hand. They work overnight. In the morning, the app updates. You tell the press it's machine learning. Then your user growth slows down. People try to unsubscribe, but you need your revenue graph to look perfect for the Series B funding round. So you tell your programmers to hide the cancel button. They bury it 6 menus deep, and when a user finally clicks it, a pop-up forces them to call a customer service number. You intentionally leave that phone line unstaffed so people just sit on hold until they hang up. You look at your original pitch deck. The second slide says you are here to protect small businesses from predatory companies. Now you just trap them in a $100 monthly subscription they can't figure out how to leave. Level 4, the co-founder. You sit in a boardroom with your new investors. They are ready to write a check for $50 million, but they tell you they want a clean narrative for the press. They want one single genius founder. Your co-founder is busy coding to meet a deadline. He's your friend. He's the guy who actually wrote the original code in your apartment 3 years ago. You look at the investors. You agreed to restructure the board. Over the next 2 months, you stop putting his name on the calendar invites for executive meetings. You hire a new chief technology officer and put him in charge of your friend's department. You issue new shares to the investors. And you do the math so your co-founder's ownership drops down to almost nothing. One afternoon, he walks into your office and asks what you are doing. He reminds you about the late nights you both spent building this from scratch. You don't look him in the eye. You just tell him the company is outgrowing him. You say the board made the decision. He quits the next day. You have IT delete his email account. You take his picture off the website. A week later, you do an interview with a tech magazine. The reporter asks how you came up with the idea all by yourself. Level 5, the system. The hype of your startup dies. The money runs out. You shut the company down. But you don't lose your house. You don't go bankrupt. You just sit in your home office and write an essay about the hard lessons you learned. People reply to it and call you a visionary. You look back at the last 5 years. You told the press you built this company on pure grit. You realize that was a lie. You got your first check because of a warm intro. You got your next funding round because you went to the right school. You packed your board of directors with your friends. They rubber stamped your massive salary while the company burned cash. You sprinted through regulatory gray zones before anyone could stop you. You lied to investors. You fired the people who built the code. You sold a fake product. You betrayed your best friend. But nobody calls the police. Instead, the same venture capital firm that funded you gives you a job. They fail you upward into a partner's seat. You watch the honest founders. They go out of business. They just quietly disappear. You look around your new office. You realize you didn't break the system. You're exactly what it was built to reward. The line between visionary and fraud is just whether the story eventually comes true. And the game is rigged so people like you get to tell it boldly either way.